I think in terms of the audience, all the mothers out there will recognise something, but I think also, we've all got mothers, so there's a lot to relate to.
I'm really enjoying doing this play for a multitude of reasons, but one of them is because I'm an only child and I'm really enjoying having siblings. Even though they don't all like me, it's still really fun.
This play is, it's sort of a powerful family drama which takes place over the 4 seasons of the year. Hi, my name is Neil Armfield and I'm the director of Things I Know to Be True. What's beautiful about it is it has this kind of structural purity to it. A retired father, he worked on the assembly line in a car factory, and he's been retired 6 years at Tony Martin plays. His name is Bob Price. And we see him coming onto the stage in his pyjamas, kind of a bit lost, as he kind of walks up the centre line from what we call the VOM at Belvoir. Gathering around him in the space are his 4 children who are coming down the aisles of the theatre. And we know that there's some sort of ritual being enacted. The person who isn't on stage is Fran Price, his wife, who is a nurse. And she's been a nurse all her life. She's a few years younger, but her anxiety is that he's retired too early. And all he's got are the rose bushes, which are resplendent on stage. They're in their full bloom of summer as the play begins. As the seasons change, the rose bushes change as well. That is the marker. We've sort of got this notion that there are 4 rose bushes and that he's kind of planted one for each of the 4 children. The other thing that indicates season, that there's a massive gum tree that towers over this garden, and the scene after that first kind of prologue is Rosie, the youngest of the 4 kids in Berlin, talking about her experience at 19 of being overseas for the first time. And she then takes us back to this backyard in Hallett Cove on the coast south of Adelaide. And leaves start to fall that give Bob something to worry about because he likes a clean backyard.
Hi, my name is Annalise Phillips. I play Pip in the play Things I Know to Be True. Pip is the eldest child. She is the one that has a complex relationship with her mother. They are essentially very much alike, so they butt heads. Like all the other children in the family, she is in the process of reconstructing her life, and it's a little bit exciting and terrifying. I think the curious thing about Pip is that she's very strong-willed and intelligent, and decided maybe too early in life what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be. And then she arrived in that place only to discover that it wasn't what she thought it would be. And so she's in the process of rediscovering who she is, basically, and finding herself, as we all do, finding herself in a position where she feels like she's becoming her mother, and she's fighting that. Everyone's evolving and everyone has to kind of realign. So it's like a family that have been thrown up in the air and they're all just seeing where they're landing.
The play looks at what the pressure is on any family, and that is both the pressure of love and the pressure of anger and the pressure of resentment. It's looking at all of the kind of nuclear bonds that hold the nuclear family together. And each of the children in this play undergoes some crisis that, in a sense, kind of throws them out of the orbit of the family.
If Fran's guilty of anything, it's probably loving her children too much and perhaps not giving them enough space for their little wings to spread and leave the nest. My name is Helen Thompson and I'm playing Fran Price. Fran is the matriarch of the Price family. She's an Adelaide woman, born and bred. She is the mother of 4 children. She's a full-time nurse. She's an incredibly efficient, very organised mother. Those children have wanted for nothing. They're all grown up now, but they don't live far from home. So she's always trying to help them, but sometimes she needs to learn to stand back. There's a lot of humour in this as well. Fran's sort of controlling nature is sometimes some of the most dramatic moments in the play, but also some of the most humorous. So we have a lovely, Andrew Bovell's writing allows us to flit between high drama and comedy, which is really nice. He knows when to let the pressure off. I relate a lot to Fran. I would like to think that I'm not as controlling as Fran, but it is that whole thing with being a mother of knowing when to step in and when to step out. I guess it's one of those things when we try and protect, say, your children as they're growing up in the world. One of the great things you can do as a parent is you can help them through difficult times by saying, this is what happened to me when I was young, this is how I navigated it. Take what you perhaps need in terms of advice from that experience. But sometimes, I guess in a generational way, the way you navigated a problem, the world has changed. There's drama that comes in this play because with the parents trying to give their best advice and most helpful advice, the children, of course, are choosing their own way and their own way of handling it. That might mean they fail, but it also might mean they find their own way. And I think it is, again, it's that whole thing of going, just because it worked for you doesn't mean that's the only way to deal with that problem. And so the parents have to learn also the hard way that there are other ways of dealing with problems. It's just this beautiful unfolding drama that, at its heart is about love and commitment to family and forgiveness, all those sort of big ideas, but told on a very domestic level.
It's a constant question, I think, in Andrew's work, what gets passed on. I've done 2 other works of Andrew Bovell, and he's really one of our greatest writers. And one of them was the adaptation of The Secret River, but the work before that was actually a short 1-hour film for television that we made in the 90s called The Fisherman's Wake. And that, in a sense, is a kind of precursor to Things I Know to Be True. It's very much, I think, Andrew writing about his own family, about his relationship with his own sisters. It was Andrew, I think, dealing with the idea of the death of his father and this question of what gets passed on. And it's Andrew exploring what he inherited from his parents and what he has then given to his children. In a way a writer does, it's they write about their own family, but they're writing about all families. And I don't think the Price family and the Bovells are the same thing, but there have to be deep connections. In the same way that for me, it's the Price family, it's not the Armfields, but I'm using all of my store of memory of growing up in a family, with my siblings, with my relationship with my parents, and particularly understanding what that sense of the power of the family table is. I hope the audience takes away a new sense of looking at their own families. There's an awful lot of cruelty in this play. There's a lot of humour. People are threatened by each other. Kids are threatened by their parents. The parents are threatened by their kids. I mean, emotionally threatened, kind of ideologically threatened. The crucible, in a sense, is a very kind of tight energy that they work within. And I would hope that people emerge from the play with a renewed sense of love and understanding.